Thank you for choosing our Patio Heat channel. I'm Steve. We provide tips and information to extend the enjoyment of your patio project. Our videos give you a knowledgeable overview prior to investing in your outdoor heating equipment. Whether you are a professional or owner builder, we provide specific details for optimum heat coverage for your application. Post a comment or question, or for developed visual designs, send your request into designs@patioheat.com. We're here to work with you. For over 30 years, patio heating is the bedrock of our business, expressing what works best. Now let's get heating. All right, so here we have this residential application, and let's look at, first of all, the overall dimensions I have. So overall dimensions, I have 18 foot 6 inches by 17 foot 6 inches. I put a beam coming down here at 7 3/4 of an inch. Also, I have a ceiling height of 10 feet off the finished floor. And as you can see here, I have some openings here that I'll show here in just a second. I'm going to take off the top here just to show you why I'm placing this information up here. Is because there are some ceiling joists that are going parallel, I have, with this 18 foot 6 direction. And I have it at 9.5 inches in height. The distance I have for over here is 2.5 inches wide, and also I have the opening here at 1 foot 3 1/4. I also want to add one more dimension to that, which is just the center point to center point. Let's go ahead and paste that on here real quickly. So we have from center point to center point, I have that at 1 foot 5 3/4 of an inch. So it's nearly 16 inches. What I did was I took the one beam over here, I placed it 6 inches away from this edge over here, not the beam itself, but the outer edge of the perimeter here, and I moved it 6 inches in, and then I did the same over here, and from this inner wall 6 inches in from the inside edge here to the wall, and then I placed a total of 12 beams uniformly throughout the whole span. I did that because I saw an image with these ceiling joists in what I believe is this configuration, and the number of them of being about 12. So I wanted everything to be about equal. So it could be, you know, possibly 16-inch center on center or 18-inch on center and center. But the important thing is that you have this clearance of at least from here to here of 13 inches. Otherwise, the FlushMount kit will not fit. Also, the other important issue is that you have a minimum height from the ceiling itself up at 8 inches. If that's not 8 inches tall, then the heater itself will not fit into that space as well. So those are two important pieces of information: 13 wide, 8 inches minimum tall. Okay, let's see if there's anything else I want to talk about. I believe there's going to be a door here, sliding door. If it's an opening door, then there is possibility that, you know, placing the heater closer to that door may not be safe. But not in this case, because I believe the door would probably only swing 36 inches, you know, out. And this might be a sliding door. So that's another piece of information I'm not 100% certain of. I do have just a simple dining set here and then a reclining set over here. They did mention there's going to be a fireplace somewhere out here somewhere. I'm not exactly certain of where that location will be and how big that is. But let's just say that it's, you know, the seating arrangement is going to be something like this. I mean, you could have, you know, another chair over here. That's not too important because you'll see the coverage that I'm going to recommend here in just a minute. Now, they did receive some information from another person who could do some drawings. And so I'm going to first of all show what that drawing would look like in my opinion. And what that was a few of the FlushMount. Actually, I believe they showed the. Sorry, I'm going to change something on here. Let's put the ceiling back on. I believe they had the 5200, the new model they have out. I'm showing the 6,000 watt units here first of all, just to to show what, if you're going to have a 6,000 watt unit, what the coverage might look like and what the distance is between each other. So I'm going to go ahead and put the distances in first so you can see that. So from center point to center point, and that's from the center of the patio structure itself. I have that at 9 foot 8 3/4 of an inch on center. And then here from the center point of the patio structure this way, I have it at 6 foot center. And that's center on the heater here and right here. Going back to the beams up here, I'm not certain that these actually are where these beams are at, the ceiling joists. But I placed them, like I said, uniformly throughout the span, put 12 in there, and hopefully I'm close to being accurate. Let's just say though that the distance change is going to be 6 inches. That's not really a big issue whatsoever. In fact, I'm going to show a possibility of excessive crossover rays here in a minute. But let's go ahead and turn off the distances that I'm showing on this particular drawing. I'm going to turn back the lid on here. The other thing I mentioned, that beam, I believe the drop of the beam being 7 3/4 of an inch, and I have that at as a 4 by 7 3/4 or 4 by 8 you might call it. The reason why is because I want to make sure that you're aware of the clearances below the heater, the clearances below the heater itself, not the flush mount kit, but the heater itself. From this edge of the heater out is 18 inches, so you need to make sure that you're meeting those clearances to combustibles if you're going to use a heater further to the left and right of the patio in this arrangement here. Again, 6,000 watt units. These are 240 volts, 25 amps a piece. Let's go ahead and look at the footprint of heat, and that footprint of heat is going to look something like this. And I'm going to turn off these clearances right now and kind of look at what I'm talking about when I talk about the crossover rays, as well as the footprint that we are receiving. So this footprint is going to be very good for the entire space. However, we have a lot of more crossover, so if you're sitting here in the middle, you're going to probably get too much heat, and you'd want to have these on a dimming system. That way you can control the output from 100% to down to 10% on. And maybe this one here would be at 75%, this at 80%, and that way you can make this crossover array more comfortable. Or if it's possible, moving the heater, I'm just going to go ahead and go 16 inches. You can see that if we moved each one of these 16 inches further in and out, that our coverage will still be fine. We just have to make sure that this door here doesn't swing out into that combustible area. Again, showing that combustible area here in the yellow. We need to make sure that there's no door that swings out into this space here. So if I was to make a line, see what I could do here. I think I can come over here, and yeah, that's 2 foot 7 inches with that movement that I made already, the 12 inches in from what I originally stated. Let's go ahead and look at the distance here again. And you can see originally it had it at 6, and now it's at 8 center to center, what I'm showing right now. So let's go ahead and change this back to what I had so we can look at the overall layout that I'm showing. I'm going to go ahead and show the plan that they received. So they received this plan here, and you can see that the heaters are essentially almost in the exact same locations, with the exception of the actual distance here. I'm not quite sure if they knew the ceiling joists were in this direction, or how far apart they were. But you can see that we're essentially about 6 to 8 inches here off, and 6 to 8 inches here off. Other than that, and I should also mention that I believe they stated that this is a 5200 watt unit, and I'm showing the 6,000 watt unit. The 5200 watt unit is, sorry about that, but I'm gonna Actually, let me just turn off this wall here for a minute so we can maneuver through here a little bit easier. But the 5200 watt unit is 4 feet long, and this unit I'm showing here is 61 inches long, essentially. Let's see if there's anything else here. I think that's about it. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off that other plan and look at another option, which would be possibly using 2 of the 6,000 watt units. Now they're in the same location here and here, you know, from that 6 foot throw that I was distance I was mentioning, as well as now I have the 2 units in the center of the patio structure itself, and you can see the footprint of heat is going to be roughly about 11 feet this direction and a full coverage this direction. Again, a little bit more overlapping than I would really like, so I'd like to be able to move it out a little bit, but I'm not quite sure if, you know, moving this one here 16 inches out would be probably more beneficial than moving both of them. And also I don't want to overheat the window or move this one, you know, too close to if there's a door that swings out. So if you were going to move the heaters out, then I would probably go this direction here. But again, it does change if the ceiling joists don't allow that, you know, movement. If you had to go, you know, say like maybe 20 inches, that might be too far. It just really depends. Again, 6 foot center to center to 8 foot center to center is probably the best layout that I would recommend, utilizing 4 units or 2 units themselves. So, all right, I think that's about it for this particular layout. Let's go ahead and look what the other plan showed, and I'm going to turn this off and go with the 5200 units. And what I did here is, again, these are 4 foot long from the inside edge to the inside edge of the heater, and then I have them, you know, recessed inside. I think that's pretty much about it. You can see that the distances that I have now, I pushed them more in towards the center, so we have good overlapping. Let's go ahead and look at the distance that I have for this particular model, center to center. I'm going to turn off the rays for a minute, grab this, and let's look at what that true distance might be from center to center on the heater. Let's see if I can grab that. Should be right there. There we go. All right. And you can see here we're at 8 foot 7.5 center to center on each unit itself. So do I like this? I probably like this a little bit better than the other, using the 4 of the 6,000 watt units, and better than using the 2 of the 6,000 watt units. I think this is a better plan for this type of space. Let's go ahead and go back to that footprint of heat. You can see that the coverage now is, you know, very good. It's roughly 11 by 11 feet, you know, distance. And again, I would like to, you know, possibly push these 2 units out another 16 inches if I could. That way that overlapping ray here isn't too intense in this center spot here. So yeah, so that's going to be 7 foot center to center, and that's going to be, you know, 1 foot to the right further than this one here. So again, these heaters are centered within the patio structure. So from the center of the patio structure to the left is 3 feet, and from the center of the patio structure to the right is going to be 4 feet if you did this particular layout here. Not quite sure if that does. The fireplace is right here, you know, or outside of the patio, so that's something else to think about. But all right, well, I hope this has helped. If you're looking for some assistance with your outdoor heating application and you would like us to review your plans, please send your information into designs@patioheat.com. I'm Steve, and please tap that like button if you find this video useful. We don't advertise, not monetize. YouTube does not support us in any way unless we receive a thumbs up from our viewers, and we truly appreciate that. Thank you so much. Have an excellent day.